Hey up my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome to the Hermit's Cave. So, as I said, there was no cup of ketchup and cards today, but I have finished a little bit earlier, but not enough time to kind of plan a cup of ketchup and cards at short notice. So, what I thought I would do is a premiere so I can be with you guys anyway in the chat box below. I've only ever done one before, and I know they can't be done from a mobile phone. At least I don't think they can. I couldn't find a way to do it. So what I'll probably do is record on my phone, which I'm doing now, and upload it or transfer it to my MacBook and then do it through there. So fingers crossed. Well, by the time you're watching this, you'll see if I'm in the comments below or not. But I thought we could just have a little bit of fun. Two reasons really. One is we're in February. I don't know if you can hear the wind whistling. We've got a hurricane on its way. So we're expecting 80-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. Well, early hours of the morning into tomorrow. And, you know, winter's long and drawn out. So I thought it might just be a nice idea to start a tag, something fun, that I'd like tarot tubers to participate in. So this is get to know your YouTubers or your tarot YouTubers A to Z. So there's an A to Z questions about your tarot YouTubers, and hopefully people will join in as well. And another reason why I decided to do this pre-recorded is because if people decide to take part and they want to watch the original video, which is this one, then I tend to get distracted on lives. I see comments and I go down different rabbit holes and things. So I thought it'd be nice just to focus on a pre-recorded video, upload it as a premiere, and we can have a chat anyway. So I will think of what the hashtag will be. It'll probably be something along the lines of hashtag your tarot tubers A to Z or something like that. I'll have a think, but it will be in the title anyway. And if you do play along, which I hope you do, so we can all find out a little bit more from each other, then use that hashtag. The second reason is there's been a lot of people joining this community that I'm really enjoying their content stuff, but I know very little about them. And tags like this, especially when it's one about getting to know you, really help us to find out a little bit more about other people in the community who have joined us recently. That said, if you're an old timer, still feel like you can play along. Am I an old timer? Probably not. I'm just coming up to my 3-year YouTube birthday, but I feel like an old timer. I feel like I've been doing this a long time. Okay, so let's begin. So A is for age. You think I would have come up with something better, wouldn't you, for the A? But A is age, and I'm 49. I'm in my 50th year. So, yeah, be honest, you know, I don't want to be 49. I don't mind. To be honest, I really don't mind. I'm not one of those people who is bothered about aging. I've enjoyed every decade I've had. I'm sure when I get there, my 50s will just be awesome. And apparently 50s are the new 40s. So, hey. B is for book, as in favourite book. Now I'm in two minds because before the last couple of weeks, I would have said my favourite book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Love, love, love this fable. It is filled with gems. And that's the sort of book I like, where you can read it from cover to cover and then dip in and find some inspiration. And it's packed with metaphors, omens, spiritual tidbits. Oh, I just love it. But as you've heard me talk about recently, I've also discovered The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which I love. Absolutely love this book. It is beautiful. It took me 20 minutes to read, but I've got a little bookmark in there because I keep picking out, again, little gems from this book. So it really is a tie, and that is a bit of a cop-out, but I can't really choose one over the other. This has been my favourite book since 2001. So nearly 20 years. This one has been my favourite book for about a month. So, but I love them both. I think they're both really, really wonderful. C is for career you wanted when you were a kid. and what career you actually turned out having. So when I was a kid, I thought about this, and I'm going to break up kid into like 12 and under, and then teenage years after that. When I was a real kid, I wanted to be an actor. Really wanted to be an actor. I did plays at school. I was the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, that was just all I wanted to do. I used to pester my parents to send me to drama school, but we couldn't afford it and all that. But anyway, when I got into my teenage years, I wanted to be a social worker. I really wanted to work with young people, and yeah, I just wanted to help people, and I really wanted to be a social worker. And I can remember feeling so let down by the system, because I had a meeting with my careers advisor and went in there saying, I want to be a social worker, I want to be a social worker, and walking out of an application form for a youth opportunity scheme painting and decorating course. And they just didn't listen. They're like, no, you need to do something, you need to learn a trade, you need to learn a skill. What sort of skills have you got? And of course I just said, well, nothing really. Do you do anything around the house? I said, well, I've just painted the front room for my parents. I helped my stepdad. That was it. There's your application form. So I was really let down by that. The career I actually ended up is I work in education, but I get to work with young people who have challenges, and from an employment perspective, getting them into roles. So really enjoy that. And I kind of become a pseudo social worker, really, and a bit of an actor. No, I'm kidding. D is dream. What dream do you have above all others? And I thought about this, and I have many dreams, but you know what? The ultimate dream is just to have enduring happiness. Life is short, but I want it to be as long as it possibly can be. And I want to be healthy and happy and experience love in all its forms. I think love is the greatest energy in the universe. So if I can have a happy, long and healthy life that is filled with love and people that I love, then that's the ultimate dream. E is essential item. That one item you just can't be without. And I'm loath to say it, but it's my mobile phone. 10 years ago, it was a phone, just a phone, a mobile phone. Now it's everything. You know, it's my window to the world. It's my work diary. It's my notebook. It's a video camera, a camera. It's, gosh, what isn't it? You know, it's got Glide where I can communicate with people all over the world in an instant, free of charge. It's just everything. And I literally panic if I go to my pocket and I can't feel it. So it's an essential item because it is just everything. It does so much. And I know that has a downside. And I think we have to kind of monitor our screen time. But that said, I still couldn't be without it. F is for favourite RWS deck. And there's a reason why I've said RWS deck, as you'll see later. And as you know, I have many, many tarot decks. But my favourite RWS deck is basically the RWS deck. It's the first and it's the best. This is one of my favourites, which is my Ultimate Rider. Love this deck. I think the images are clear. It is just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning deck. They slide, they're lovely. Yes, they have a copyright on them. Failing that, as you all know, and we have those comments, don't we, or those questions that keeps coming around. If the house is on fire, what deck would you grab? It would be my Blushing Fool. This is the Ultimate RWS. Cardstock, it's paper. There's no lamination, no copyright, crystal clear images. This one I think is still in order from my last walkthrough because this is one I keep in the tin. I also have the one that's in the hermit box there, which is my go-to usable deck for readings and things. But yeah, as many decks that are out there that are iterations of the RWS, for me, you can't beat the original, and I love this deck. So this is my favorite RWS deck. G is for gold or silver, and I'm gold. I can't wear silver. Silver brings me out in rashes. It doesn't matter, even if it's real silver, I just have a reaction to it, so I can't wear it. I like it. I like, especially chains, I think are nice in silver. Gold chains can sometimes look a little bit tacky, I think, but I do like gold, and my rings and things are gold. H is for height. My height is 6'4". Yep, I'm tall. I'm really tall. I is for ideal day. What would be your ideal day? And you know, I'm easy to please. I really am. My ideal day would be to get up early, have a spot of breakfast with somebody, and then get in the car and drive to the coast. And then when I'm at the coast, just do lots of walking. I love being by water. I love being by the sea. I love the sound of the waves. And I've done many videos, haven't I, from the seaside. But fish and chips for lunch. Walking around the little coastal town. Exploring all the little shops. Souvenir shops. Esoteric shops. Somewhere like Whitby is amazing to go to as well. Look at the sights, but also just spend some time sitting out, perhaps doing a meditation in the afternoon, looking out to sea. Then in the evening, a nice Indian meal. Oh, I love Indian food. So going for a curry somewhere, and then finishing the day off by catching a late film at the cinema. Yeah, that would be my ideal day. J is for joke. Tell your funniest joke. Now, I'm rubbish at telling jokes. I really am. But I'm going to give it a go, because this was a joke I heard about 10 years ago, and it still makes me chuckle when I think about it. But forgive my delivery of the joke, because I never tell jokes because I'm so crap. But this is the joke about Dave. Dave was really popular. And he used to tell all his work colleagues that how popular he was, how he knew everybody. He was always name dropping celebrities and famous people. And his colleagues were like getting really fed up and sick and tired of his name dropping and making out he knew everybody who was anybody. So his boss called him into the office one day and said, "Look, Dave," he said, "you're getting on people's nerves a bit. Clearly you don't know everybody who's anybody." And he said, "I do. I really do. Just ask me and I'll tell you." And he says, "Okay, Tom Cruise." Dave says, "Me mate Tom?" "Yeah, I know Tom." So boss said, "Right, well, I've got a conference in LA in a few weeks. I'm taking you with me. And we'll go and see Tom." Anyway, they went to LA, they arrived at Tom Cruise's house, knocks on the door. Tom Cruise opens the door and he's like, "Dave, how you doing, buddy? Come in, have a beer." So his boss went in with him, and him and Tom are chatting, and Dave is reminiscing about all the fun times he's had with Tom. And as they leave, Dave's boss said, "Oh, that's pretty impressive." He said, "But that could be a fluke." And he says, "No, it's not, honestly. Name somebody else." He said, "You can name anybody." So his boss thought about it and he said, "The president." I'm not going to give that president a name. This joke is timeless. Insert Obama, Trump, Clinton, whoever. He says, "Yeah, I know the president." So he says, "Right, next week I'm in Washington." He said, "Let's go and check him out." So anyway, they arrive in Washington, they go to the White House, they go through all the security, and all the security officers are like, "Hey, Dave, how you doing?" "Oh, yeah. You know." Anyway, the president of the United States arrives and he's like, "Dave, how you doing, old buddy?" They're back slapping each other, and let's go and play some golf. So the boss is really sort of getting a bit freaked out by this. It's like, wow, Dave knows Tom Cruise. He knows the president of the States. And so as they're coming away, he says, "Do you know what? one last test. He says, I bet you don't know, Dave. I bet you don't know the Pope. He says, of course I know the Pope. We go back years. And the boss is thinking, all right, okay. So anyway, they fly to Rome and they go to the Vatican. And they're there amongst all the thousands of people waiting for the Pope to appear on the balcony. And Dave says to the boss, do you know what? He's never going to spot me down here in all this crowd. And he's like, yeah, here we go. He says, I'm going to go up. He said, I'll go up and go and see the Pope. He says, I know all the security, just like I did at the White House. So off he goes. And anyway, Dave makes his way there, speaks to all the security, goes up onto the balcony. As the Pope comes out, they come out together and they can hear all this kerfuffle. And he looks down and he sees his boss collapse. So he goes rushing down and there's all these people around him, paramedics, and he's laying there, you know, trying to catch his breath and his chest is in pain. And he says, boss, what's happened? He says, well, I was doing all right. He says, until the guy next to me said, who the frig is that guy up there with Dave? That's my joke. So, and when I heard that a few years ago, oh, I couldn't stop laughing. It's a good joke. Who's that man up there with Dave? Okay, moving on. K is for kid or kids. None. No children. L is for living arrangements. So I live on my own. I live in my cave, my hermit's cave. I love it here. And yeah, it's everything I need it to be. It's filled with all the things that I find special, that I enjoy. I have nice things around me. I have my altars, my sacred spaces, and it's the place where I'm most happy. And I've never had that before. I used to be in shared accommodation with people, and this is the first time ever that I've lived on my own here. The first place I've ever moved to on my own. And I didn't know how it'd go at first, but I absolutely love it. So my living arrangements, I've got an apartment, city centre based, and I live on my own in my little hermit's cave. M is for Marseille deck favourite. It's not going to come as a surprise to anybody who's watched my channel for any length of time, but my favourite, look at this Kelly bag that Kelly did for me, is the new choice Tarot de Marseille. Look at that chunky monkey. These are the backs, which are gorgeous. It has the nicest cardstock ever. So beautiful with their pinks and their purples and their blues. Really beautiful. It's by Rosano Salerno or Salerno. Roz, and he's in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, and currently he's working on an RWS deck as well, which is in a very similar style. But this deck is just beautiful. Let me show you a Pentacles as well. Really, really beautiful. So this is my favorite ever RWS Marseille deck. And one of the courts. Here's our Knight, our Cavalier of Cups. Oh, it's just gorgeous. But anyway, so that is M, favorite Marseille deck. N is for nicknames. Do you have any nicknames? Now I've got two. One I've never revealed before, but the first one, which I have, is Cybri. And that was because, you know, my two names are Simon Brian. So my email used to be, or it still is actually, cybri@me.com, but it used to be Cybri Harrison years ago at BT Internet or something like that. And then people just started calling me Cybri because of my email address. When I used to be online years ago and go to forums and all that, so there'll be hi Cybri, and it just kind of stuck. So even some of my friends refer to me as Cybri. The other one is Agzo, and I inherited that from my dad because he was Agzo growing up. So Agzo, they used to call him Agzo at school because apparently it's like an abbreviation or shortened version of Harrison. How, I don't know. But my mum used to say to me every night, and my sister still says it now when we glide, every night before she went, she would tuck me in bed, whatever, and she'd say, "Good night, sweet dreams. God bless Agzo, dear." And it stuck. So I was at home as a kid. My nickname was Agzo. My sister will still use it. She'll glide me. She'll say, "Oi, Agzo, have you got a minute?" So, yeah. I don't want that to catch on, though. Don't be calling me Agzo. It would feel weird. O is for Oracle. Your favourite Oracle. And mine, I keep in a jar by the door. Who is it for? Now I keep it in this little wooden box. And it's the Roots and Wings. And I've, again, showed this many times. It's got the skin tone, the rose petal. I adore this deck. That one's upside down. But anyway, it's just such a beautiful, oh look, such a beautiful deck. And I use this for clarifier readings as well. I need to make sure these are all the right way around. But it's really gorgeous. So yeah, favourite Oracle is the Roots and Wings Oracle. P is about your passion. What are you passionate about? And I had to really think about this because I've got quite a few passions, but I would say ultimately the one thing I'm passionate about is helping people. It's around people, basically, developing, helping people reach their full potential. I'm always rooting for underdogs. I like to lift people up. I like to support people. And I just think we should all be passionate about looking out for each other. Let's be honest, guys. I've been watching, and I never normally watch the news. I never read newspapers. But there's been a particular story that I've been following recently. So I've had the news on. It just feels like the world's going to shit. And if that's the case, then all we've got is each other. And we just need to get through this, and we need to pull together. We need to forget petty squabbles or differences and just be there for each other. Let's lift each other up rather than tear each other down. And I'm not, I'm preaching to the converted. I know most people in our community are very much like that, but that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about people, and people that might have been dealt a bit of a crap hand, about lifting them up, supporting them, helping them to reach their full potential, but also just looking out for each other the best and only way that we can. Q is your quote. What is your favourite quote? So mine is from The Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, and it's, "A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others." And I love that. That's right at the end where they're about to get on to the air balloon, they're about to get into the basket. And he goes through each of the people that she's met, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion, and he gives them all their, what it is they've been looking for. Sorry guys, I got interrupted. I put Do Not Disturb on, so I don't know why that's done that, but he didn't have a heart, so he gave him like a mechanical heart. It's like it had a clock face on it, so it would tick. But he used that quote to him, which is, "A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others." And that's so true, and I absolutely love that quote. R is for relationship status. So my relationship status is I'm single, I'm ready to mingle. I've been single quite a time, and that suited me. But yeah, who knows? The future's in the future, and I'm in a different place to where I was a few years back. I did used to have trust issues, but we progress, we grow, we develop, we change. So, but yeah, at the moment, I'm single. S is for season. It's your favourite season. And for me, it's the spring. Oh, I love the spring. And as you know, winter I find quite difficult. I like the beginnings of winter. I like, you know, I love autumn, but when the trees start to go bare and there's the frost in the air and things are dying away, and I love things that happen in winter, you know, like Christmas and Yule and things like that. But I find January and February very long, and I get a little bit down at that time of year. So when the advent of spring arrives, someone is persistently trying to get hold of me. Yeah, you know, the sun feels warmer on your face, the dawn choruses, and everything just starts to come alive again, and so do I. So I love the spring. It's my favourite time of the year. And I get excited about going out for walks, and yeah, I just love it. I love the spring. I think my second favourite is probably autumn. Summer is okay if it's not too hot or sweaty hot. I don't like that, and having to sit in front of fans and things, because we don't have very good aircon over here. But yeah, spring and then autumn. I love the colours of autumn. I really love it. So T is, of course, tarot, first and last. So my first tarot deck, it was the one JJ Swiss, and my last tarot deck that I received or bought, sorry guys, I'll try and make this quicker because I keep getting interrupted. Yeah, so Tarot of Loka, if you look back, you'll see a video walkthrough. That was the last deck that I bought, which was earlier this week. U is for upset. What upsets you most? And I've spoken about this before. The things that really upset me are injustices. I can't bear miscarriage of justice, or, you know, people who are blamed for things that they haven't done, or people being treated unfairly, corruption, all that sort of stuff. It's just, it eats away at me, and it really upsets me. I am a firm believer that truth always comes out in time. And I am somebody, when I know that I can't do anything else than I've done, and I always try as much as I can to, you know, get justice for myself or for somebody else, I know that I just have to sit the long game, the long waiting game, because truth will always come out in the end. V is for vlog. Which of your vlogs are you most proud of? And what is your most popular vlog? So I think the vlog that I'm most proud of, and it was a turning point, it's called Lifting the Lid on Pandora's Box. And up until that point, I'd used YouTube just for kind of unboxings, walkthroughs, tags. And it was the first time I really kind of worked with a tarot to talk about situations I was going through at the time, and it had a really profound impact on me. And I found that I was sharing to the camera more than I ever thought I would. I opened up a part of myself, and that can be dangerous, but I opened up a part of myself and just talked about experiences that I was having over the last few weeks. And you know, I had to stop recording a few times because I got very emotional, but actually the responses I've had to that video has just been incredible, and it cemented some online friendships as well that I still have today. So I'm really pleased with that video. In terms of my most popular, it's a video that I did a couple of years ago called Top 10 Tarot Decks, the RWS edition, or the RWS version. And it's had something like 26,500 views, which blows me away. You know, if you go to your analytics and you look at your videos and you see what the most popular is, that's there, and it's like twice as many views as like the next most popular. So obviously people love RWS decks, and it was just me getting 10 decks out and talking about why I loved each one and a bit of a walkthrough of each one. W is for weakness. What's your weakness? Mine is food. I'm not gonna lie, it is food. And when I say that, you know, I don't necessarily mean chocolate or cakes. I do have a bit of a sweet tooth, but it's not my main driver. Mine is savoury stuff. I love things like cheese on toast, nuts, like cashews and things like that. And I love pizza, there is a Slimming World version, but it's just not quite the same. So yeah, and I'm really trying. It's a lifelong battle to get a healthy relationship with food. And I'm there, but I know I can easily go back down. So it's constantly trying to not be drawn into things that help me to put weight on and things like that, or lead, because I've been diabetic. So yeah, healthy snacks, peanut butter, peanut butter milkshake or peanut butter ice cream. Ice cream is another one. I love ice cream. That's my sweet toothness, the ice cream. But I love anything savoury as well. A cheese board, give me a cheese board. Oh, with pickles and crackers and crisps. So that's my weakness, food. X gets harder. X is something X-rated about yourself. Tell us something naughty you've done. Two things I'm going to share. About 15 years ago, I skinny dipped in an outdoor lake with some missionaries, which was really wrong. And we got caught by the person who owned the land and was made to get out the water. So we had to walk out the water to this landowner completely in the buff. And the other X-rated thing was, it was when I was 17 and I worked at the American Adventure theme park, and we went to they used to have themed discos, and one was beachwear, and I'd got this Hawaiian shirt on and these Bermuda shorts, and I didn't have anything underneath, and somebody worked out that I didn't have anything underneath, and I was dancing on the dance floor and somebody pulled down my Bermuda shorts and I just carried on dancing. I think I'd had quite a bit to drink, and I was like, oh, whatever, and I just carried on dancing, and the staff came rushing over, the managers, and they're like, cover yourself up. I'm not an exhibitionist, honestly. I was young, under the influence, and just kind of went with it. They're two X-rated things. Y is for yesteryear. Your favourite year so far, and why? Mine would have to be 1987. And actually, I wasn't going to say that, but that was the year also I picked up my first tarot deck. But that has only just come to me. 1987 was the year I left school. 1987 was the year I started working and I went into the big wide world. I worked for a theme park, which was an amazing experience. It was the year I left home. I know, at 16. Technically after October when I left home, but 17. The year I got my first flat. The year I formed lifelong friendships that I've still got today. The year I learnt more about life in one short year than ever before. It was just an incredible year. The music from that year was amazing as well. But I love 1987. It was just an incredible time. And I think back to that year quite fondly. It was such a chrysalis year for me, from going from being quite an introverted school kid to whatever I became. But I just learned so much. It was such a year for growth for me. The final one is Z, which is Zen. What do you do to relax and stay calm? I do many things. Meditation is a big one. Chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is another. Sitting with my cards, doing spreads, journaling, and quietness, being outside, listening to nature, walks, sitting on the edge of hills, cliff tops, looking out over vistas and amazing, beautiful views of countryside, sitting by the sea, listening to the sound of the ocean wave. All of these things I love to do. They're my Zen moments where I just feel grounded, connected, at peace. My mind is clear. I'm without stress or worry or anxiety. And those moments we should do more. We are human beings, not human doings. So that's it, guys. That's get to know your YouTubers. the A to Z. I hope you play along. It'll be great to see some responses to this. Thanks for being here today in the Premiere chat, and thank you if you're watching this back at a later date. I hope you found out a little bit more of me, and I hope to find out a little bit more of you too. So until next time, guys, go in peace, namaste, and blessed be.